just at the truck, kind of getting my gear together and stuff. I brought the Calcutta on a little different rod. This is a Shimano Trout 1. So kind of nice, all Shimano combo. This isn't their nicest stream rod. I'm not sure what the difference in the Trout 1 and the, I don't remember what the name of the nicer one is, but this is a very nice rod. It seems to be quite a bit stiffer than some others I've tried, and because we are below the dam in this big open like tailwater section of the river, it's good to be able to really haul off and cast it a long distance. And this rod paired with this Calcutta is great for that. I love coming out here with just a nice selection of sinking minnows, and you can just bomb them across I mean, it'll even cast spoons. I've casted spoons that are 2.5 grams with this. It does it great. You start getting real low, like I say, it's not necessarily better than a spinning rod, but I just like it. It's cool. I've cut the handle off of the back of this, and not just totally, I left the shaft in there and redid a new cork section for it that I kind of formed, and I made it fit my hand a little better so I can tuck it in like my others, and that has helped a lot. It's an awesome combo, but I'm gonna leave this in the truck for now because I want to play today. So a lot of you may be familiar with the Rapala Countdown Elite, which is just, you know, more or less an iconic trout lure. I think they're okay. I've got some. I don't really use them. I've got lures that I prefer over those, but you know, nothing wrong with those. But what a lot of you don't know is the Rapala Countdown Elite is also a very limited release, very kind of hard to get, and very little known about glass rod. It's a 4-piece rod. It's a spinning rod. It's a very, very nice rod. I really, really like this rod. You know, a lot of people, myself included, tend to prefer the aesthetics of vintage gear, a lot of vintage things, but it is not lost on me that modern products do perform better in almost every single measurable way, especially with reels. I think there's some very valid debate with specifically mountain stream style fishing and these vintage round reels with a geared level wind that's always a factor. I think there's a very valid argument to be made that actually does help it in a way for that specific application, and therefore some of the vintage stuff may be better in that case, but in most cases, no. New stuff is always usually better. I think rods are a different story. Granted, yes, this is a modern S-glass rod. It's not, you know, older E-glass or the, you know, brown wood looking fiberglass, but this, you know, glass is a much older tech, and I prefer it. There's really not many scenarios where I would pick a modern carbon ultralight rod over this. I know that it's segmented, but the way that these Japanese rods are, it's not like a big part of the blank that slides over the smaller part of the blank. They split the blank, and it's the same diameter, and then they epoxy in a piece of fiberglass, so it's a very clean look. It's a lot more durable of a joint. I've never had a problem with one. Granted, I've only been doing it, you know, a few years, but it's a very, very solid way to do it, and I much prefer this rod over any of my modern ultralight spinning combos. But why did I even get this? I got it, well, mostly for the aesthetic. I didn't know, well, I kind of knew that I would prefer a glass rod. I've got a smaller one I use a lot, and I really like it. But the reason I got this one specifically is I love the color scheme. There are a lot easier glass spinning rods to get a hold of than this one, but I didn't necessarily want to build another one when this one already comes exactly how I would want it to look. And the reason I want it to look like this is because of the reel that I had already bought and hot rodded that I wanted to pair it with. And if you are a vintage tackle junkie like myself, you might freak out about this one. So this is my Cardinal 33. These things are cool. They're very, very cool. Disclaimer, in no way is this better than a modern spinning reel. It is heavy. It is clunky. I have every aftermarket Japanese hot rod part for this that you can get, aside from a drilled rotor, and that's for aesthetic reasons. Yeah, trust me, I know it would be a lot lighter and you would probably have a lot more feel of the lure, and it'd just be a lot nicer with a drilled balanced rotor. But I love the look of this. I think it's super cool. It is so cool on that rod. I'm going to put it on that rod right now. But yeah, what a killer combo. I mean, it's so cool. And this reel is so smooth. I mean, granted, it doesn't perform as well as like my go-to ultralight reel is like a 2000 size Shimano Cardiff XR, which is basically like a bougie JDM Vanford. It's a great reel, and it's way better than this, but this one is way cooler, and this one is very smooth. I mean, granted, it was in pretty good shape when I bought it. I haven't painted this or anything, obviously. It's been beat up a little, but it's in very good shape. I have changed out pretty much every single thing you can besides that rotor. I didn't do the like milled knobs or anything. I like the aesthetic that it had, so I made sure, and I got a milled handle that looked like the old one. It's got a nice Kydex knob on it. It just feels great. But yeah, pretty much everything you can do to this internally, I have done. Anywhere there was a bushing, it's got bearings, so very, very smooth. The drag has been upgraded. The anti-reverse, if you're familiar with these, you might recognize it has a little different tone. It's got iOS Factory is the brand, but it's called the Canaria system. It's just an upgraded anti-reverse. It's smoother, and it is a little bit quieter, and it's got a little different tone. And I do like it a lot better like this. But yeah, it has made it a very, very nice reel to use. Now, in no way does this reel outperform like my Cardiff XR, but I love this, and I love the way it looks on this rod. Now, one of the things about this that you really can't do a lot about, I'm usually the first one to say, if you can't close a bail manually, that reel is useless. That's the way I've always done it. I think that is the best way to do it. Unfortunately, if you don't know a lot about these, you might miss it. You can't close the bail manually with these. You can trip this lever right here and close it. Now this one, I can kind of close it manually if I put some pressure on it. You normally can't do that. I have worked on these edges a little bit, and it's on a little more of a hair trigger than most. It's not gonna like close itself or anything. It's still a very solid lock. But what it does, since you kind of have to close this with the handle, it just makes it close a lot nicer. You don't have to put quite as much pressure on it to get it to close. So I like that. So today, we've got the bait finesse set up. I may come back to the truck and grab that, but I'm at least going to start with this. I don't use it enough, and this is not going to be as much about tips and tricks and things you might not know as much as it is you guys can just hang out with me while I'm kind of practicing this new thing, because the whole closing the bail with the handle is a very new technique to me, and I didn't have to even think about it until I realized that I love this little reel. So what I've kind of learned with this thing is I would typically put the bail all the way up. It works a little better if you kind of have it over here. And you see Japanese guys cast this way with spinning reels a lot. They use their finger to break. I don't know if it's just because I don't do this a lot, but my finger doesn't want to flex that way very much. It is getting easier the more I've tried, but yeah, using your finger to break when you cast and then closing it seems like the way to go with this. And you do have to break that line. I mean, trust me, I tried just timing it and closing it. If you don't stop that line, you will tie up so many knots and loops in this thing closing it. It'll drive you nuts. I have wasted a lot of line on this just doing that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing threaded through here, and I'm just running the 2-pound Trout SOS line. It's I typically use like nicer JDM lines. They tend to be very strong for their size, and their ratings are very spot on. It's a little different, like, you know, the 9-pound bait finesse braid that I use on my kind of go-to creek rod. It breaks at 9 pounds. This 2-pound trout magnet line probably breaks at, I don't know, 5-6 pounds. It's the lines in our US market are severely underrated. I don't know why they do that. It's a very strange thing. I don't quote me on that, by the way. I really don't know what pound this line breaks at. I know it's usually, you're usually safe to go with double. So if you've got like a 4-pound line, you're probably pretty safe to assume that that line will actually break around 8 pounds. At least that's what it seems like from what I've tried. So I haven't seen the river yet. They've been releasing a lot of water the last few days, and over at the dam it was a little higher, but there were some people down there. So I've come down here, and it may be a little deep. I spent a lot of time over at the truck talking instead of walking over here first and seeing. But so yeah, we're gonna start with the spinning combo because I just like using it. It's a lot of fun. This is just a little basic spinner I made. I used a Mepps #1 blade. I like the Mepps blades. They're a little, I like how they're a little more matte than the those like cheaper bulk pack chrome French blades you can get. But we'll throw this. We've got a good selection of minnows and spoons we can throw. And of course I've got the bait finesse combo back at the truck. Yeah, it is deep. It's very deep out here. It's a lot deeper than it normally is. I know for a long time there was a tree right out there. I don't want to catch it. But if it's totally underwater, that might not be a bad spot. Yeah, see, I had to think about it to close it. Yeah, the casting and closing the bail on this thing will definitely be a little weird to get used to. Got to work on getting my finger out of the way because my finger's sitting in the way of the bail, and it's stopping me from closing it. Even if I had chest waders on, I couldn't wade this because just a few feet out there, it's already over where your chest waders would be. This is a little bit shallow through here, but that drops off down that way because I've seen all this when it's not underwater, because I'm usually walking down there. Oh, I did get one. It was a very, very faint bite. I almost didn't. Oh, he came off. Okay. So So they are biting, and they are biting the little spinner I made, and I like that. Oop, see, I tried to close it with my hand right there. Yeah, that's good. That's promising. I didn't, as soon as I came over that hill and I saw the water higher than it would be if they were generating, I kind of prepared for 0 bites. I'm sure it was a very small stalker rainbow. They're a whole lot easier to catch. He felt small. But on a day like today, you kind of got to take whatever. So why the spinning gear on a bait finesse channel? See, I like gear like this. I like quite a few different types of fishing. You know, I like, oh, see, I closed it a few times with, without stopping the line, and I already got a tangle right there. So they are a little fiddly. You got to get used to them, and okay, that was a little better. You know, one thing I wanted to kind of address, and that's part of the reason I wanted to come out today and just make a quick video. I don't really have a reason to be out here. I don't expect the fishing to be that good today. This isn't a particularly interesting way to fish because this is the tailwater of a big dam. You know, these are mostly all stock trout. This is really, it's fun for a little while, but it loses its appeal very quickly. And I wouldn't be that interested in watching a video of somebody going below a dam to a super productive trout fishery with a lot of stock trout, just hammering like 10-inch rainbows if the day is good. But it's a nice place to just come and fish a little and kill some time and play with different things. And I wanted to talk to you about some stuff with the channel. So you might have noticed, if you were already subscribed for a little while, that my handle has changed. It was like Finesse Files Fishing. Now it is Art of Obsession. And the reason I'm kind of making this video, so I'm gonna leave the channel name Finesse Files for a little while, but eventually I am gonna change it. I'm gonna leave the profile picture for a while, just so anybody who doesn't see this video, who's been subscribed, they know who it is. But I do want to change the channel name. You know, Finesse Files is fun. It's kind of catchy, but it's very, very specific. And I didn't really expect to do much with this channel. I just kind of wanted to upload some creek fishing videos, and you know, maybe some people would get a kick out of it. But now that I've uploaded some videos and I've had some practice on a different channel, kind of getting used to the whole, you know, recording, editing, the whole process with this, and I've gotten a little better handle on it, and I've started really enjoying the process. And this is something I could see being a lot of fun and potentially being able to be a good resource of information. Especially since that last video, there's a lot of people that have, you know, expressed some kind of value in that information. And I know that a lot of it is very specific stuff that you really have to look hard to find information on. And I want to keep doing that because it's, you know, I think it's very valuable to have stuff like that out there. But bait finesse fishing is not even close to all that I do. And I don't just get obsessed with bait finesse fishing. I get obsessed with every single thing that I get into, and that's why I take things to the extremes that I do. That's why I'm building like cool rods and hot rodding old reels and going down all these rabbit holes and playing with a lot of this gear that most people would never see, you know, in a tackle shop or just out on the river somewhere. So you don't really have a good source of information for stuff like this. And a lot of the places where people actually do use this stuff and understand it, they tend to be like Japanese websites, and the translations from those websites are really not good. You'd be very hard pressed to get a good understanding of something based on, you know, the auto translations that you get. It just doesn't, I don't know what it is about it. You'd think in today's age that the translations would be a lot more, ooh, that was a little bluegill or some kind of sunfish. I have never seen a native fish in this water, aside from white bass when they run. How about that? That would be fun to catch one here. But yeah, the information is just, there's not a lot out there. When you do get it, it's hard to decipher it. It's just hard to come by. And I want to keep doing this. I want to keep, you know, trying to bring good information, helpful information whenever I can. And it makes me want to do more. And the more that I do, the more information that I get, and everybody kind of benefits. And if it could turn into something bigger, I mean, that would be great. I see this being something I could really enjoy. But the problem that I kind of inadvertently created for myself, which is not really a problem. You know, if I had like thousands of subscribers right now, I actually would have kind of created a problem for myself, because it's a lot harder to make changes. You know, there's no better time than right this second to make the change, because especially on a YouTube channel, every day that goes by, you might have a new subscriber. You might have new people that watch the videos and say, oh, great bait finesse specific channel. That's all that I like, and that's all I want to see. I'm going to subscribe. So if you do more than that, and you want to do more than that, there's no better time to start doing more than that than right now. Oop. Now, I don't know if that was a little snag. There's something out there. I don't know if it was a little snag on a small branch or if a trout just snatched that. Oh, it was a snag. So yeah, you know, of course I do bait finesse fishing. It's my favorite way to fish. It's a very strong possibility that it will remain my favorite way to fish. It is just so much fun. And I love fishing creeks and the places that you use this gear in. But I do other stuff, you know, even just fishing. I fish from a kayak. I fish, you know, with other gear besides bait finesse gear. I really get into vintage gear. You know, just the ambassador stuff. You can go the super high-end bait finesse route, or you could go super high-end like catfish reels with them. And I've got a couple that I've kind of hot rodded for that purpose. There's a lot of types of fishing that you can do, and I enjoy other types. And I hate to just have it be so specific where it feels like you know, if I'm gonna go, you know, water like this, it's not that entertaining to fish from the bank or to wade. It's a little more fun wading like later in the year when the water's low. But the best way to fish water like this is when they are generating and moving a lot of water. You put in upstream on a kayak, and I exclusively use spinning gear for this because bait finesse gear, I just don't enjoy it out of a kayak. It's really not the right application for that, in my opinion. But I'll use my same trout lures. I'll keep an ultralight and probably like a medium spinning combo. And you put in upstream and you drift while they're generating, and you'll move at a pretty decent clip. I mean, you can cover 10 miles in a day if you're out for most of the day. But yeah, you're drifting, throwing jerk baits, and these big browns just hammer those. It's a blast. And it's not bait finesse, but it's very entertaining, and you don't see a lot of that. And in my opinion, it's one of the most fun ways to fish. It's fairly fast paced. It's it's really fun. And these big trout fight so hard, and they're so predatory, and it's so fun to throw like a 5-inch jerk bait and have a big brown just come up and demolish it, start ripping out drag, pulling your kayak around. But that wouldn't have gone on the channel because it's not bait finesse, but it's very entertaining, and I think people would enjoy it. So just with fishing alone, there's plenty of things that I don't want to close myself off to. And aside from fishing, I do all sorts of other stuff. I mountain bike. I've got a very off-road capable vehicle. There's a lot of adventures that could be had, you know, with that and the fishing, and, you know, throw some camping in there. And it can be a lot of fun. And, you know, mountain biking, yeah, it's kind of hard to get entertaining videos with just mountain biking, although I do really enjoy watching like POV mountain biking videos, and I'd probably make a few of those every now and then, especially if I want to do some like bike packing type stuff. Imagine, you know, a big bike packing trip with some of these like super packable rods, and that turns into like this bike packing fishing adventure. I mean, there's a lot of possibilities on the table if I don't stick myself into one specific category. I also build a lot of stuff, and that kind of changes and evolves based on what I'm into. What is that? Is that a bass? I'm pretty sure that was a bass. Why are there so many native fish here right now? This is weird. I couldn't tell because there's a lot of ripple right there, but where he was, but that looked like a largemouth. This is very strange. I never see native species up here. But yeah, depending on what I'm into, I will always be modifying and building and just trying to improve on things that I'm into. So that right there is a whole nother genre of things that, you know, a lot of people, myself included, find very interesting. And I watch a lot of videos on stuff like that, and I'm sure there's plenty of other people that want to see that stuff too. And so I want to be able to do that, you know, and have that on the channel, because you know, if we're gonna fish with, you know, high-end custom rods, and look at that copperhead. What? How cold is this water? I haven't gotten in it yet. We've seen a sunfish of some type. I'm pretty sure a largemouth bass and a copperhead. I mean, it's cool. It's not super cold. Weird. That is, I've never seen a snake in this water either. This is just a whole day of firsts. So, you know, whatever. I guess I'm glad I came out. What a strange day. What was I even talking about? That was so weird to look down and see a copperhead right in front of me. And trout water. I want this channel to be able to grow and include more things, and be able to include this whole scope of things. You know, if we're fishing with nice gear and I'm going to build some of that gear, I want to be able to show you guys that whole process and not have to worry about, you know, if this falls in under the umbrella of, you know, bait finesse fishing. And if we go do it somewhere really cool, you know, and it turns into a whole trip, I'd want to see that whole experience. And I don't want to, you know, withhold that simply because, you know, some of it's more like lifestyle stuff, or, you know, maybe it's a bike packing trip and I don't want to include biking on the Bait Finesse channel. But, you know, I just don't want to be in that position where I have to leave things out that could be very entertaining and very valuable to add to some of these adventures. So yeah, like I said, I'm gonna leave the channel name for a little bit, at least give people time to see the video so they can watch this video and kind of get an idea what's going on. And then I'll change the channel name, but I'll leave that profile picture for a while, so anybody that doesn't see this, you know, and remembers the profile will at least have that, so they don't think it's some random channel. But yeah, I like the art of obsession. That's what I changed the handle to. I think it's really going to cover a lot of the stuff that we'll get into on this channel, because, you know, most of what I get into and most of the stuff that I do, it is, at the end of the day, just a product of obsession. You know, going to the tackle shop, getting a nice combo, going out and fishing with it, not thinking twice about it. That's fishing. This kind of stuff is obsession. And I like that. That's when it really gets fun for me. May have to switch this spinner out for something. Actually, I may have to switch places. I may go back up below the dam. It was a little bit more traversable over there. Because even like down here, this spot would have been way out of the water normally. And I mean, that might be over my head right now. It's so deep. Yeah, I've been out here a lot when they're generating. Like I'll fish it while it's low, and then when they generate, I'll come up here, because it's usually good for the first little bit when they start generating. Like normally when they're generating, the water doesn't even get up near this high. It'll only be, you know, it may come back in here a little bit because that's a low spot, but all these rocks will be out of the water. So, I mean, it's probably at least a couple feet higher than it normally is during generation. It's just crazy. But I may switch out lures here in a little bit. I'm just bound and determined to catch something on this little spinner because I made it. And I'm stubborn. And if I keep throwing it, I'll catch something. Oh, there we go. There's something. Feels like a trout. It's very shaky. Oh, wait. No. Look at that. Long-ear sunfish, where the trout live. That's crazy. I can't believe there's so many native fish here right now. There he goes. I'm not even gonna mess with switching lures here. I knew as soon as I walked into this spot that it wasn't gonna be that good of a time, and it did look a lot more traversable back right below the dam, which that's always going to be the shallowest spot, is right below the dam. So I am going to go back up that way. But yeah, I'll wrap up this tangent so we could just kind of get back to some fishing and hanging out. But that's kind of going to be the direction I'm going with this. I wouldn't expect to see a big change in the actual channel, because I'm probably still going to be uploading mostly bait finesse fishing. It's still my favorite way to fish, probably always will be. So yeah, I would expect to not see much difference for a while in the content itself, but you'll probably see a little variety sprinkled in here and there, which is that's really what I wanted to do. Back up below the dam, there's a few people out, but it's not bad. Yeah, now that I got the kind of channel announcement out of the way, we can just kind of hang out and fish. I'm actually going to be very surprised if we catch any trout. This water is considerably warmer than I was expecting, and I'm sure it has something to do with how much water they've been releasing. I'm getting a little bit more used to this combo and casting this reel. You know, kind of the first time out using it like this. We'll see. It's very fun to use. I love the I love this silly little clicker. It's just fun. I'm just like bound and determined to catch a fish on this spinner I made. As soon as I do, I'm going to switch out to something that I know will work better. But I really just want to catch a fish on the spinner I made. And there's some structure right there. Oop. Whatever. Okay, good. Had a tangle. That will, I think, forever be a downside of this reel, is you will occasionally get a tangle. Which if you use a nice modern spinning reel, it'll probably never happen. But I would argue a nice modern spinning reel is not as cool as this. When I make these little spinners, I've got wire that has a swivel at the end of it, so they all have a swivel on the eye. And then I'll show you. They've all got a swivel on the top of them, and I'm using a snap swivel to connect it. But even with two swivels, it still twists up the line. So go figure. I don't use spinners a lot though. I mean, I really, in my honest opinion, do not think there's any benefit of a spinner over a spoon. I think any scenario where you catch a fish on a spinner, you would have also caught that fish on a spoon. And there's a lot of times where you cannot catch a fish on a spinner, but you can on a spoon. I got a bite right there. Let's see if something else will take it. If we can just get that first fish marked off on this combo, then I'll switch to a spoon, and we'll probably really start catching fish. But this is what it's like being stubborn. The wind's picking up a little bit through here. I like that with spoons. I don't know if it affects spinners, but I have noticed when the wind picks up and puts a ripple on the water, they bite spoons better. I haven't noticed any effect with minnows, but I do notice it with the spoons. See, this is why videos like this are good, because if I fish with stuff like this and these spinners, which this thing is basically a Meps, you know, it's a little nicer. Ooh! That could have been the bottom. I was reeling a little slow. Doesn't matter. We'll keep going until we get one. But, yeah, it'll be cool to see, you know, how unproductive this is. And then we switch to something like one of those little Japanese spoons, or one of those minnows, those sinking minnows, and you'll just see how much of a difference it makes, how much more productive those lures are. And maybe one of these guys that's just swears by their Meps and they won't use anything else, and they come out here and catch one fish all day. Maybe they'll see this and be like, okay, well, I guess I'll go try it when nobody's looking, and don't tell anybody, and don't tell any of my Meps buddies, and then they'll come out and they'll try something different and they'll have an awesome day. Ooh. Something, oh, there we go. Nope. God, they're getting tagged. It's getting tagged. It's getting bit. It's getting ran with. But they're not staying on it. But you know what? At least they're biting it a little. We just gotta land one fish so we can switch out. Might actually go get the bait finesse combo too. I feel like I've casted this enough today. I've gotten some really good practice with it. So I'm not opposed to switching to the, oh, there we go. No. God, these tags, and they're not getting hooked. Yeah, I feel like I've got enough practice with this combo today that I can switch out to that bait finesse combo, because the bait finesse combo does cast further out here. Ooh, there he is. And it is a rainbow. Not a big one. It's one of those dumb little stalkers. But I mean, whoa, what else do you expect to get? Come on, dude. I'm trying to get you out of here so you can hopefully learn something. I mean, these things are way too common. You should really be smarter than to get caught on one of those. There you go, first little rainbow of the day. Well, now that I have satisfied the desire to catch a trout on the little spinner that I made and on this combo, which I enjoy using, but I mean we're going on 3 hours in one of the most productive trout fisheries on the planet, and I caught one little stalker. Spinners are not the thing to throw right now, trust me. Well, yeah, I like throwing spinners on this combo. I wanted to get some good practice with it. I feel like I've got a little better handle on the technique and have gotten some reps in. So I'm gonna go back to the truck and switch this out for my bait finesse combo that I really like using out here, and I'll be right back. Let's see what the little spoon will do today. So you can just really rocket these little spoons out here with this combo. Ooh. Oh, there we go. Came up and got it right after that other one got off. It's pulling pretty good. Still a little one. About the same size as that first one. And there he is, rainbow number 2 on the spoon. I'm gonna switch out this spoon for a little bit and just kind of see if they'll hit something else. I did get one chasing that D-contact. I didn't throw it around that long because I thought a spoon would be a lot better, which the spoon was better. There's a lot more fish biting this. But I kind of want to see how one of these betta-fries would do. I never have like a really bad time with the betta-fries. They have a big wide wobble, kind of like a spoon. And they cast really, really well on this combo. And let's just see if they'll eat a betta-fry right now. Throw it out there where it's a little bit deeper. Oh, there we go. As soon as it hit the water. Oh, you let it go. There we go. Yeah, he's a little bit bigger, just a little bit bigger than the other two. He's got his mouth in the net right there. There he goes. I was gonna show you, but he flopped out. That's okay. we go. Almost immediately. It feels decent. It looks a little bigger than that last one. I don't think it is. No, it's not. It's a little smaller than the last one. About like those, not that much different than the first couple. But, yeah, bit that real good. Another little rainbow on the spearhead. I mean, first rainbow on the spearhead, just another little rainbow for the day. I've caught fish. Oh, there we go. I've caught fish on that raptor out here. I don't like using it that much because I don't like trebles. He's pulling hard. Little guy. About the size of those first two. Well, about the size of all the ones we've been getting. We haven't caught really any big ones today, but that's okay. It's a slow day. I'm not expecting anything crazy. As a matter of fact, when I saw the water level, I didn't really expect to get much of anything. And it's turned out to be an all right day. Let me spit that spoon out in the net. But calm down. There he is. Oh, there it goes. I try not to hold on to them too tight. I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure they're totally okay. I mean, hell, eagles pick them up and lose them sometimes, and that fish ends up being fine. But I don't know. I don't squeeze them if I don't have to. That's all I needed. Yeah, that raptor might do something today. Also, that guy, the Supaku Swimmer, might do very well. I don't think I've used that floating one out here. I'll try it for a little bit. I might put that raptor on there because you can work it a little bit deeper. But this sure is a good lure. This just gets so much attention, and I haven't tried it out here. Oh, there we go. He's fighting really good. That's a brown. Nice. First brown of the day. It's pretty much been the whole day. We did get a brown. Yeah, see, this is why I hate treble hooks. Look at this. It's just tangled up all in this net. Also, they have no structural integrity. This thing's already bent from this tiny little fish. All problems you don't have with single hooks. Look at that little brown. Not the prettiest one, but you know what? We got it. There we go. Didn't get hooked. Hit it though. Hooks aren't tangled or anything. Just didn't hit it good. Or through the hooks. Oh, there we go. Also, did not get hooked. Hit it real good. Threw it and swam off. Huh. Well, it's getting attention over here. Oh, there we go. That's a little better one. That's a brown. Yeah, this is the best one we've gotten today. Come on. Come on. Oh. There we go. Yeah, that one's much better. Much, much better. Oh, I broke the hook. There we go. Yeah, broke that off. Yeah, this is a much better fish. Very healthy. Nice looking brown. Let's come back. There it goes. I'm gonna switch that hook out. I don't wanna be using hooks that these trout are gonna break off. Let's see what I've got. I know I keep some trebles with me. Let's see, what do these megabass hooks look like? That same size as that one. It's one of those rare occasions where if I had a bigger treble, I would switch out to a bigger one. So at least it would be harder to break. But I think this is going to be a little better hook. These megabass hooks are usually pretty good. Yeah, we'll switch out for that one on the front. I've got some smaller ones I can switch out to on the back. I might just do that right now because that hook has had a pretty nasty bend in it, so it's already been fatigued. But I like the direction we're going because that was the biggest fish of the day, and it was a brown. So I'm gonna keep running this thing for a little while. That really makes me want to get the sinking version of this. And I probably, oh, there's another, oh, I just pulled it right out of the water. Almost hit myself with it. Swam up and tagged it, didn't get hooked on it though. Yeah, it might be worth getting the slow sinking version. Oh, there's another one after it. Is he gonna bite it? Oh, there we go. Not as big as that last brown, but fighting good. What is that? That's also a brown. No? Yes? Yes. Also a brown. Oh good, it came off. I think these are all females. Look at that. Nice little brown. Oh my god, the triples, I swear. Oh my god, I'm gonna freak out on these hooks. Get out of here. Oop, there we go. Something on it. Feels kind of strong, not as strong as that bigger brown, but doesn't feel tiny. Oh, but it's not too big. It's just an angry little rainbow. First rainbow on the Supaku Swimmer. Nice little rainbow on the swim bait. Swim bait? Glide bait? What is that thing? I don't know. Who knows what it is? Cool little swimmy minnow. There we go. Immediately another one. That one actually feels good. He's pulling some drag. Where are you? It's not far. Oh, yeah, that one's better. That's about the size of that other one. No, it's a little smaller. It is smaller. It's about the size of the one I caught after that. Another nice little brown. There she goes.